Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Justin Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we're going to go on and talk about for tonight, but to be honest, if you were here last night, a lot of the things that we talked about last night, we're going to go on and talk about again tonight with the weather. And it looks like that we are going to really just stay on that same page. So if we go in and look on what's on tap, and if you remember the one from yesterday, last night, it's not going to be too much of a difference. Mostly dry conditions dominate under strong high pressure. Near or slightly below normal temperatures continue through mid to late week. Elevated to increased fire weather concerns persist through midweek, and then temperatures begin a gradual rebound toward the end of the week into next weekend. So again, a lot of the same stuff, and that's not just because I was lazy and didn't want to do anything else, just because that's all really to talk about. So let's go on and see what's going on with the live radar. But before we do that, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also hit the subscribe button. We're at 726, trying to get to that main goal of 800. And then share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, and people that you also don't talk to regularly, because it can help not only the channel out, but it can also help you out with your weather, and it's free. It's free. Now, in terms of your radar, current conditions, we pretty much see we have nothing going on. Dry conditions, not seeing anything intense at all. Now, if you go on and scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we have some rainfall, we have some snowfall going on. You see rainfall going on in Florida. We have snowfall going on in Maine, even some rainfall in Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, even some rainfall with some severe weather going on in Montana. We have some rainfall in Colorado as well as New Mexico, Texas. And then even if you look over to the west, we have some rainfall going on over here, or some dry conditions, going on over here. California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada. And also some pretty dry conditions over here in the southeast going on over into the mid-Atlantic. Now, what about 4-hour cloud cover? Cloud cover right now honestly seems to be more of moving off and away from us, off and away, and that was expected. We were expected to see this cloud cover kind of continue to move over into the east. And so if we go on and look at that cloud cover for the future, you definitely can see what I'm talking about. Cloud cover over there in the eastern parts of the state, while we're clearing out in like the Midlands, the upstate. We're clearing out in these areas. Now, if we go on and look at our cloud cover for the future, so even past tonight, this is tomorrow morning. Look at that cloud cover trying to come back as we get into tomorrow morning. And then even as time we get into around tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, cloud cover's still here. Then as we move into Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning, going even into Thursday afternoon, cloud cover starting to lessen out a little bit, but still definitely interesting to see how the cloud cover tries to rebound tomorrow. We'll see how that happens there, and then even into Thursday as well. Current temperatures right now: Columbia 60, as well as 56 in Sumter, 57 in Newberry and Lugoff, as well as Orangeburg, 60 Aiken, and even 57 in Somerville. We also have around a good 62 in Charleston, 65 Hilton Head Island, and 60 in Georgetown, 62 Myrtle Beach, 57 in Conway, as well as 56 in Florence, 58 in Hartsville, and 56 in Bennettsville, Lancaster, York, Rock Hill, 58 in Spartanburg, as well as 59 in Greenville, 62 Clemson, and 61 in Anderson. Now, what about for your air quality? Air quality, for the most part, we have a little bit of a moderate air quality index over there in the western low country. Everybody else in the good category, meaning no bad air quality is expected throughout these areas. We do have some areas as well just to the west of us, not even inside of South Carolina, like up there in northern Georgia and western Georgia. But for right now, for us, most of us, we're doing good. Low temperatures for tonight: 45 inside of Lawrence and Newberry, as well as 46 in Columbia, 47 in Aiken and Barnwell, as well as Walterboro, Moncks Corner, Myrtle Beach, 48 in Georgetown, even 53 in Charleston, 57 Hilton Head Island, and 44 in Greenville, 43 Spartanburg, as well as 42 Rock Hill, Chirot, and Dillon. High temperatures for tomorrow: 64 in Greenville, 63 in Spartanburg and Rock Hill, as well as 65 in Anderson, 66 in Greenwood, as well as 67 in Columbia, Walterboro, Barnwell, Aiken, 66, Sumter, Kingstree, as well as Moncks Corner, 65, Charleston, 63, Georgetown, even 62, and Myrtle Beach. Now, what about for our rainfall? Rainfall is not expected as we go into tonight and into tomorrow, so we are good here. And then also, if we talk about our crazy score, if you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how active our conditions are throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And right now, we are at a 13. At a 13. Why? Well, for the most part, it's mainly just because, again, we're going to receive some mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Also, no precipitation being expected. Low temperatures being a bit below average, but not too below average. And then it's also going to be drier with lower dew points, making it comfortable. Less humid conditions. So no major hazards or concerns, and it's pretty much going to be a nice night. Now, what about for the SPC outlook? No thunderstorms are expected tonight. Tomorrow, Thursday, we are good. For fire weather, we don't have any fire alerts for right now. We do have some special weather statements going on throughout the state, but they are really just for tomorrow. And the reason why that is there, because tomorrow we have a bit of an upgrade to talk about in terms of our fire weather risk. Here we go right here on Wednesday, April the 8th, tomorrow. Critical fire conditions now over there for Columbia, down to Aiken, down to Allendale, over into Orangeburg as well. Bamberg's included in there, or I think it's close to there as well. And then also in the Orange area, includes like Florence is included, Rock Hill is included, Greenwood is included, down there in near Walterboro included, over there inside of Manning is included, Sumter, all these areas are included inside of the elevated fire weather conditions risk for tomorrow. And so definitely make sure that if you are planning to burn anything tomorrow, that if you absolutely, only unless you absolutely have to, that you are not burning anything tomorrow. I would not recommend it. Tomorrow definitely would not be the day to do so. You can resume on Thursday. Thursday right now seems like that there is no risk right now. But tomorrow, definitely, if you're over in the red areas, definitely would not burn anything tomorrow. Now, what about in terms of excessive rainfall? We're good here, so we have nothing to watch for. So let's go on and look at our excessive rainfall. So not excessive rainfall, models activity. We just talked about excessive rainfall. But let's go and look at the models real quick. We're going to start off here at 9 p.m. And for the short term, we're not seeing anything at all active. I've even seen some models and I've seen some people say there's a good chance that we may not get a drop of rain throughout like the next 7 days, the entire state. We'll see, how that turns out. Obviously, we talked about that yesterday and we talked about our areas of rainfall, but you push this forward and what do you see? Dry condition. You're not seeing a drop of rain. Here's tomorrow, 3 p.m. Nothing. 8 p.m. tomorrow. Nothing. 12 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, nothing. 5 o'clock on Thursday, continuing to look like absolutely nothing, even by the time we get into Thursday. And even if in the off chance that somebody does somehow see a little isolated drizzle, it's not going to cause any sort of accumulation or anything like that. Now, unless models change, this was again updated at 3 p.m. today. Unless models change, right now it looks like that we're going to be rain-free for the most part throughout the next 48 hours. Now, what about for our long-term future? We're going to start off here on Thursday, 2 p.m. And as we go on and push this forward, Friday, high pressure takes over and we are completely dry all the way throughout this weekend, going to next week. Still, rainfall is continuing to stay just away from us all the way into next week. Thursday, Friday, finally Friday may try to bring some rainfall to us. But just look at how dry it's going to be. Even as we go into Saturday and Sunday, we have some rainfall going on not this weekend, but the weekend after this weekend. But if, continuing throughout into Monday, Tuesday, if not next week, but the week after, rainfall trying to move its way through and finally try to bring us some relief. But it won't really be enough to really get rid of that drought or to really hamper with it unless we get some rainfall this week, which right now it's looking unlikely. And same thing with next week, unlikely. So that's pretty much what I have to say here in terms of the long-term future. Again, not a whole lot to talk about except for just dry conditions continuing not only this week but next week, and then finally next weekend comes along and finally brings us some good rainfall potentially. So let's go in and look at our temperature anomaly. So we're going to start off here at 11 p.m. on Tuesday. We go in and push this forward, and what do you see? Cool conditions still staying with us throughout Wednesday. Going into Thursday, still cool conditions staying with us. Friday, we're looking at a bit of a warm-up. We could be looking at some warmer temperatures, but for the most part, I do think that it's still going to be just near normal. Now, this weekend, things will definitely be trying to warm up, especially as you get into next week. I mean, we're talking about temperatures, even though they're around 5 to around 10 degrees above average, you got to realize this, and that is that once you get more and more towards summer, just because it says, oh, it's only 5 to 10 degrees above average, we're going to get hotter. So 5 degrees above average in the winter may be 45, but 5 degrees above average in the springtime may be 75, obviously. So, you just have to go on and gauge it as well for the time of year. And as we go more and more into April, obviously it's supposed to get more and more warmer. So just because it's around 5 to 7 degrees above average doesn't mean that it's going to be, it's only like the 60s or maybe like the high 60s, low 70s. It could be a bit warmer than that. But if you continue on, Tuesday, Wednesday comes along, now we're getting around 10 to 15 degrees above average. Then by the time we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're now up to, again, in double digits. In terms of above average temperatures. Then some cooler air may be trying to move through as we go into the week after next week, but again, warm temperatures remain. I mean, even to the fact where we may even try to get 15 to 20 degrees above average. So warm temperatures are definitely on the way. Definitely are coming back, but for right now, for this week, we just got to deal with these cooler temperatures. And so I talked about all of that, and you're like, okay, that's cool, averages and all that, but what about the actual temperatures? Well, let's go and look at that right now. We're going to start off here at 11 p.m. And as we go on and push this forward, you definitely can see that drop in low temperatures as we get into Thursday, down to the 40s, maybe even some high 30s, potentially. We go into Thursday during the day, only in the 60s and 70s. Friday comes along, and we're up into the 70s, maybe even a little low 80s. Saturday comes along, 80s. Sunday comes along, 80s. And then as we move into next week, you continue to see these 80s. But look into Tuesday. Tuesday, we go from the low 80s to the mid 80s. Okay. Look at Wednesday. Wednesday, we're talking about high 80s. Maybe even, maybe even a 90. Maybe even a 90 around here or there as we move into Thursday or Wednesday of next week. So I know it's a week out. I know it is more than a week out, but it's still here, and we've been seeing this gauge for a 90-degree temperature mark for the past couple of days now. And so the fact that it is still here, like I say all the time, the fact that it's still here means that we definitely are going to see that chance for those 90-degree temperatures to go up more and more and more, making it more likely. And, we're not done there either. We're not done there. Go into Friday, or Thursday, still up in the upper 80s. Friday comes along, we're actually start to drop down a little bit in the upstate, but still pretty warm. So as we just continue into next week, just, keep that in mind. 90s are potentially possible as we get into the mid part of next week. And then even as we continue our way through now, I know for the most part that it does look like a little bit of a cool down, maybe trying to get going as we get into the week after next week. And that's definitely possible. Definitely possible, but that's over 300 hours at this point. But that's all that I have to say here in terms of the long-term future. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Not a whole lot to really talk about tonight or to really just see tonight. Starting off, Mr. Mount Lewis says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." Mr. Chris says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day." I did. Thank you so much for asking. Mount Lewis says, "I pray that everyone had a great day." Well, thank you so much for that. And then Mr. Chris got you around 68 degrees here as a high. Currently, it's around 60. Well, let's go on and look at my area right now. Seems like right now, currently, it's around 56, and it got to around 69. Malu says today in Georgetown it was partly cloudy all day. Well, thank you so much for the weather report. And then Mr. Chris says it was cloudy all day. Thank you so much for that weather report. Mr. Anthony says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." And then Mount Lewis says Georgetown high was today was 67. Currently, we are at 58. So yeah, that seems honestly high of around 67. Currently 58. That seems about right. So that verified, I'd say so. Wasn't really that bad of a day. That says, "Good evening, just from the 360 Weather family. I must say, it's great to be back on land. I trust all is well with everyone, and your weather is perfect." And then Mr. Chris says, "I'm sorry I have to leave for a small emergency." That's no problem at all. He's still tuned in tonight, so that still counts. Still does count. Continue our way down. Mount Lewis says, "Snow wow in Maine." Yeah, it is still. There's still areas of the country right now to where it is still snowing. I mean, you can see up here in Maine right now, snow is still. Oh, you can't see it. There we go. You can still see over here in Maine right now, snow is still going on. It is definitely still going on right now over here inside of Maine. But back over here, Thad says, "We woke up at 50 degrees this morning. Very unexpected. Luckily, it warmed up into the 70s. We are currently receiving rain in our area, and I hope it continues for a while to water those fruits and vegetables." Then Mount Lewis says, "Nephew, would Georgetown happen to have a burning ordinance?" Well, tomorrow you're not in the fire weather outlook, so I say that for you right now, it's not you're not technically like SPC wise, you're not in there, but Georgetown is actually just outside of that special weather statement, unless you're in like inland Georgetown, so away from like downtown Georgetown. You're more towards like Andrews or like Spring Gully or Oak Grove or Cumberland or Sandpit or anywhere in those areas. If you're anywhere in those areas, then you probably should be aware. But if you're near like downtown Georgetown, you should be good. I mean, you're not in the special weather statement, nor are you in the fire weather outlook. But I'd still be careful for it. I still watch for it because obviously, the weather doesn't care where you are or where the boundaries are. It could go wherever it wants. So, just if you do have to, just make sure that you're aware for it. But technically, no, you are not inside of the special weather statement, nor are you inside the fire weather outlook. Back over. Trail says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings to you." And then Mount Lewis says, "I had a cousin who burned today and wanted to know about the burning risk. I just heard you say tomorrow." Yeah, tomorrow. Just matters if you're in those central areas or wherever I covered earlier. Great, some more warm or some more good weather hopefully on the way. And I hope warmer weather can come and stay. Well, I think we're starting to get towards that point now. I mean, we'll see what happens because obviously there still are some cold air blasts that could still happen. But for right now, looking like that warm air coming in next week could potentially, it could be a week thing, it could be a week and a half, it could be a 2-week thing. We just have to wait and see because past next week, that's in the 300 to 400 hour mark. And that's all that I can see here throughout the chat. So let's go in and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 areas outside of South Carolina? What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and give them their weather forecast for them. Starting off with San Antonio first, which, honestly, when you said that it was raining over there inside of San Antonio, I was a bit surprised because nowhere in the forecast did it say anything about rainfall at all. So, as I say, all the time, these forecasts and these rain showers that are popping up, they can happen at any time. They can happen at any time. Even when I say rainfall is not expected, they could still happen. So, You're getting rainfall though, and honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't be too mad about it either because obviously you're in a drought right now still as well, and so I definitely would be appreciative. But with you, you have low temperatures tonight, 56. High temperature for tomorrow at 80. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 63. No precipitation is expected. And then, in terms of your severe weather, excessive rainfall, you are on the direct edge, pretty much, of having a severe weather day on Sunday. You are just outside of a slight risk of severe weather on Sunday, April the 12th, 2026. That's this weekend. Make sure that you are just paying attention to it. And then if we go on and talk about your future, it looks like it's going to be a pretty active weekend. I mean, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I mean, after you get through tomorrow, Thursday comes along, and you automatically start to see that activity start to really ramp up in terms of rainfall and thunderstorm activity. I mean, you may see thunderstorm activity pretty much almost every day Thursday onward. It's possible. Now, temperature-wise, you're going to continue to stay in the 80s, maybe a 78 on Friday, but for the most part, going to continue to stay in the 80s. Then for Raleigh, you have low temperatures tonight at 38, high temperatures for tomorrow at 61, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 38. Precipitation, not expected. It's going to be, for the most part, continuing to stay dry throughout the next 7 days. Temperatures are going to continue to go up. I mean, this weekend, 84 on Saturday, 83 on Monday, 87 on Tuesday. So it's going to continue to go up and up and up for your temperatures. You do also have a little bit of a fire weather risk as well. On tomorrow, Wednesday, April 8th, same thing with South Carolina. You have an elevated fire risk, so don't burn anything tomorrow if you don't have to. For Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 30, high temperatures for tomorrow at 55, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 31. Precipitation, not expected at this time. In terms of, your future, does look like that you will, for the most part, see a warm-up as you go into like Friday, for example, 71, 66 on Saturday, 67 on Sunday, Monday, 80, Tuesday of next week, 84. So yeah, definitely a warm-up is on the way for you. Then for Duncan, you have low temperatures tonight at 47, high temperatures for tomorrow at 76, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 53. Precipitation not expected until around Friday, 20% chance of thunderstorms there. And then in terms of your severe weather, you do in fact have a slight risk of severe weather, not only for Sunday, but for Monday too. So 2 days back to back, Sunday and Monday, April the 12th and April the 13th. Severe weather is definitely possible for you. So make sure that you are aware, have your severe weather plans in place, and make sure that you are paying attention on Sunday and Monday for your weather. And then for your excessive rainfall, also isolated flash flooding is possible on Saturday. So before Sunday and Monday, severe weather risk on Saturday, going into Sunday morning, you have a chance for some isolated flash flooding to develop. And then for your future, looks like temperatures will continue to kind of stay in the 80s. I mean, even as you go into next week, Monday, 84. You may get in the high 70s here and there, but for the most part, staying in the 80s. And that's all I have to say here. So let's go on real quick and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise. Starting off, it seems like right now, thunderstorms and periods of heavy to excessive rainfall will continue over Florida through Thursday. Gusty winds and low humidity will also promote elevated to critical fire weather conditions from central Georgia into north central North Carolina tomorrow. And then also a Kona low is expected to bring strong winds, widespread heavy rainfall, and flooding concerns to the island chains through the weekend. So that's what we're looking at in terms of our weather for the entire U.S. Freezing temperatures going to happen tonight. Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. I mean, all of these areas freezing. Also, some fire concerns in Wyoming, some high winds going on in Montana and the Dakotas, and just overall a lot of things going on, maybe even some gusty winds and some strong winds down there in Florida, which we already pretty much said, but I mean, wind gusts of up to 45, 50 miles per hour down there. And I think that that's all that we have to say here for these, for the U.S. So let's go in and see what's going on in terms of the top fans of the night for tonight. Top fans of the night for tonight seems like, if I'm not mistaken, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I do believe my Aunt Lula has won it for tonight in a landslide. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Mr. Chris got number 2, and then Thad got number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Early, be active, and also being a subscriber. Because if you're not a subscriber, you can't type anyway. So let's go on and give them 3 rounds of applause. But that's all I have to say there. Let me check my Gmail real quick. Don't see anything here. So I assume that that's all that we have to see here and say here for tonight. Again, if you have not hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. Also hit the subscribe button. We're at 726, trying to get to 800. Also hit the share button. Share with your friends, your family members, and your acquaintances. People that you don't even talk to regularly because it's free. And you can share unlimitedly. I mean, it doesn't matter where you send it to, who you send it to. Just as long as we're getting weather information out, that's all that matters. That's all. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow morning with your Wednesday morning forecast update, and then tomorrow evening for your Wednesday evening forecast update. Let's just get through tomorrow, and we will be halfway through the work week